everybody, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Motorsport Manager with the Phoenix Knights Racing Team. Yes, it's the first race of the season and I have a little bit of nervous apprehension because this is it. Everything I've worked for in the past 2 seasons has culminated to us making a big push for promotion this season. We have a car that is not too shabby when compared with previous cars and 2 decent drivers. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where we fare in terms of overall pace this race. Right, this race is the Black Sea. We are going to Russia, folks. Yes, indeed. If we look at the calendar, we can see a bit more information about the race, which can help you to plan if necessary. It's potentially going to be dry. Bear that in mind. Fuel burn is low. Not an issue, because we have to refuel anyway. Tyre wear is very high. That could be an issue, but because we're stopping twice anyway, might not be so much of an issue. But you've got 3 sets of tyres to choose from due to a rule change last season. 18 laps, which means roughly we're going to be working towards 6 lap stints. So bear that in mind when we pick a tyre that we're going to focus on using most in the race. So before we dive into the race itself, 2 things. The first thing is that this I'm going to actually record on camera, of course, the qualifying, the race, but also the practice session. Now ordinarily in future parts I will not record the practice session because there's just no point. It's just setting up the car and it's very mechanical and boring. But for this race I'm going to use the practice session to serve as a dual purpose thing, to show people that haven't played the game before the actual race screen, so that if you're not overwhelmed by it when we start racing proper, and also to show you how practice works, again, if you're new to the game. So this is the only time I will record the practice session. Right. Second thing I want to go through before we start racing is the car. Now, we had a very brief look at the car last time, an overview, but I want to tell you more about it in more detail. Very briefly. If you go to fit parts, you can have a look at the various parts that you've got available. You have to give each part to your drivers, to your corresponding cars. Sundin's car is purple, Valdez's is orange. I was debating whether to give them a 50-50 split of decent parts, because as you can see, some parts have a higher performance than the other. So I had it, they're both equal status drivers, so they're going to want equal cars. As you can see, Sundin, the better driver, has the better engine, has the better brakes, and has the better suspension. Valdez just has the better gearbox. So she has the better car. The front wing and the rear wing are stock, which mean that you don't develop them in this series. Everybody has the same. So by some silver-tongued work, Brian Potter has convinced Sergio Valdez that he has an equal car to Sundin, when it's quite clear to my eyes that she has the slightly better car. Either that, or Sergio Valdez is so cocky as world champion of the All European Racing Series champion that he doesn't care and he thinks he's going to beat Sundin regardless of which car he has. So that is a little bit about the actual car. Sundin's is slightly better. In terms of the parts that we have, reliability is really poor at the moment because it's the first race of the season. Everyone's in the same boat. We are focused on repairing our reliability for the engine and the gearbox, because these 2 take longest to repair in the pits during the race, and also these 2 parts degrade faster in this particular race because these are crucial parts. As you can see, we can develop, oops a daisy, get away from me. We can develop 4 things, 4 parts at a time, and you can allocate staff to improve performance and reliability in a certain ratio. At the moment, the focus is reliability because it's pretty poor across the board. So that's just a little bit about the car itself. Right, I need to check something out here, because this is my second attempt at recording this, because the first attempt we were in 2D mode, which was very poor. I've had to put the game in windowed mode because the last session there was a problem with the resolution. So I think it's thrown a few settings out of kilter. Right, enough talk, enough preamble. Let's dive on in. We are ready to go into the Black Sea, first race of the season, get the car set up and see just how quick we are. We're going to Russia, folks. Resist the urge to talk in a Russian accent. Strong. It's going to take all my power not to do it. Okay, so as I say, the practice session, quite mechanical. Not something that I'm going to do on camera after this, but just to give you a taste of the race screen and actually the mechanics behind the practice. Just for those of you that might be watching this and thinking, that's an interesting game. I may purchase it, may not. I say it's a very good game, and you don't necessarily have to like motor racing to enjoy it, really. Right, so we need to set these cars up. That's the basics of it. We need to set these bad boys up. And how we do that is this green mechanics area. This is the recommended zone to have your setup. Now, I like to do something like this. Put my setups to the extreme ends of the mechanics recommended levels, and then judging by the feedback given by the drivers, we can judge how much we need to move sliders. You don't have to know anything about wings and pressures. It's just a little mini game of manipulating the bars. Right, so we know it's an 18-lap race. We're looking at 6-lap stints. Super soft tyres are going to generally be the fastest tyre to race on, and they last 7 to 9 laps. So we should be able to get 6-lap stints out of these. So this is going to be the predominant race tyre. That's important to know because during practice you focus on getting knowledge for tyres and getting knowledge for either your race trim or your qualifying trim. Now this session in practice in the European Racing Series is very short, and therefore you don't have time to develop knowledge for everything. So you have to focus your efforts on one particular thing to get the most out of it. So we're going to focus our race tyre knowledge on super softs. So we're going to send them out on super softs. And we're going to focus on race trim because points are won in the race. Forget qualifying. It'd be nice to qualify up the grid, but ultimately you win the points during the race, and therefore race trim for me is more important. Right, we'll go that way, I think. Something like that. There we go. So Valdez, we're going to have to adjust the sliders downwards depending on his feedback. He's going out on the super soft tyres as well. And off we go. Take the practice session. Don't simulate practice because it's very bad. Okay, so before we dive into in fact we can send them out. Send them out. So send them out with that setup using race trim on super soft tyres. Same for Valdez. Completely ignore qualifying trim. In the other series, I think you might have longer practice sessions so you can focus on both race trim and qualifying trim to a certain degree. Can't really do it here, it's far too short. Right, we're going to send them out on normal speed, and whilst they're going around the track and doing an installation lap, I'll talk through the actual race screen. So as you can see, got our cars now going down the pit lane onto the track to do their installation lap. You can move the camera around, you can zoom out, you can zoom in, it's quite versatile, it's very easy to control, and it's really good. I quite, it's very simple graphics, but it's really effective what it does. I'm going to bring them in literally straight away. Don't want them to do a single lap. So we have here on the left side of the screen, we have the standings, the classification of the various drivers. When it comes to the race, it shows you the times and how far ahead and behind you are of the other cars relative to the leader. It shows you what tyre they're on. It also shows you, if you highlight over it, whether they're pushing or not. Very useful screen. Let's have a look at these setups. They're going to be hideous. They are going to be really hideous because they're at the extreme ends of the scale. Now I do have the actual setups that I used last season written down, but I just haven't gotten them out yet. I could have done that and made it a lot easier to sort this out. Right, this is poor. This can only go in one direction. So judging by the amount of poor, how bad it is, as in poor, you get a feel for roughly how far you have to move it. So we'll move it there to start with. Handling's actually quite good, so it has to move down, but not as far. So just a couple more clicks, I think, should do us there. We'll put it there, and the speed balance is poor, so that's going to have to go up a fair bit as well. So we'll try, I think there. I think we'll try that to start with for Sundin. That should improve it. She's going to go out on race trim again, same tyre, off she pops. Right, now Valdez is having a worse time of it. His setup is very poor, only 50%, Jesus. Right, handling is okay, not good enough, so that has to go down probably to about there. Very poor speed balance, very poor, send it to about there. And downforce also shocking, we're going to send that up to about there. Might even be lower than that actually. Another click of the handling, I think. Right, so completely whoosh, to the other end of the scale. Race trim on the same tyre, and they're both going to go out and do another installation lap, and we'll keep tweaking the setup until we get a percentage above 95. I'm not bothered about getting 3 smiley excellent faces, which would be ideal. It's just about getting above 95% setup. So we'll bring them in. So for practice sessions, you can see your active knowledge. We're working on the super soft tyre knowledge, and we're working on our race trim. There's 3 levels. Each level gives you 5, 10, 15% bonus to tyres and race trim. Hence why we're using these two to practice. Gives us a bonus in the race. Weather forecast, quite straightforward. You can only see so far. We can see further if we build a forecasting centre. Makes for some tricky racing when you can't see far ahead into the future with the weather. Water on track is pretty self-explanatory. It shows you the water levels on the track to help you judge what tyres to use. Track grip levels, again, self-explanatory. So that's the top bits that you don't really use that often. Right, the setups are a little bit better but still need some tweaking. So Sundin is now up to 89%, and now we're going to have use a little bit of guesstimation. So she has gone up that far from poor to good. Maybe she's gone a bit too far, so we're going to just increase the downforce a touch. We might have gone too far with the downforce. She's gone from poor to good. So again, with the acceleration, maybe gone a little bit too far. We'll bring the acceleration down a couple of clicks. See if that helps. Handling went from good to great. So I'm wondering if we've actually gone too far with the handling as well. So if we do the handling as well, maybe use the handling through this. Okay, let me bear with me. There, okay. One more click. In fact, that might do. That might do. I'll just try that. I'll try that with Sundin. So she's going out on race trim. She's going out on the same tyres. See what we can do. So she's go out right. Let's have a look at Valdez. This is how mechanical it is. It's just, but it's just for this first session. We'll show you how it works. Right. So excellent handling. So we've got handling right in the sweet spot, which is good to see. We've gone from very poor to good. Again, maybe gone too far. So we'll just try a bit less downforce there, and here probably gone too far there as well. So a bit that way, perhaps there, and that needs to go to excellent. So we'll just click like that, and maybe a little click there with the old tyre. Right, lovely. I think that might just be okay. Race trim, same tyres, installation lap. So that is the actual screen, information screen, on the top of the screen and the side here. Now these are the 2 cars, and this is your little strategy screens for your 2 cars. As you've been seeing, I'm bringing the cars into the pits with the button down here. Obviously you can see which driver is which due to the icon. Bring them in after just not even a single lap. And you can see it tells you your tyre wear, it gives you your tyre temperature. The goal is to keep it as close to the middle as you can. Your fuel levels, the car ahead and the car behind you. And this is where you do a lot of the tweaking in terms of actual strategy, because driving style and engine mode. Higher driving style pushes the car, pushes the tyres, makes them wear out faster and heat up. Opposite if you conserve. Engine mode. Higher the engine mode, the more power the car's got, the faster it will go, but the more fuel you burn and the quicker you wear out your engine and your gearbox. So it's a bit of a balancing act between managing your fuel, managing your tyres, and giving the drivers enough enough power and instruction to get through the race as quickly as possible, but without the car blowing up on you. Right, so lucky guess, I say. Having done the first installation lap, tweaking the car, doing after the feedback, and doing a second installation lap, boom, we've got the cars in the sweet spot. Lucky guess indeed with the second changes. They could have gone the other way. Right, so we're very happy now with the setups. 97% for Sundin, 2 excellents and a great. That for me is done. Job done. So we're going to send her out on race trim for 4 laps to max out the race trim as much as possible. She has to use the same tyre, or does she? Yes, because we want to get the knowledge of the super soft tyres up as high as possible, because they're the tyres that we're going to be using in the race for 2 stints. We're going to use a set of super softs in qualifying, which means we've got only 2 sets of tyres, super softs for the race. We need 3, so we're going to have to use a soft set, but the main race tyre will be super soft. So continue to gain that knowledge. And look at that, 3 excellents for Valdez, the current champion, loving the setup of his car here. He's on cloud 9, 98% with the setup. Same thing as a Sundin. Go out there, do a 4-lap stint, use your tyres until they're disintegrated onto the rims, and bring us back some knowledge. We're not concerned with the times. You get no points, no glory from finishing top of the practice timesheets. It's all about gaining that knowledge and tweaking that setup. So we'll just enjoy the sight of the 2 Phoenix Knights racing cars speeding around the track. We'll get a rough estimate as to how fast these cars are compared to the other drivers, or maybe we won't because we're stuck in traffic. We might get a little general gist of the pace of the cars. If I put them into push mode, high and push, overtake and push, as if they were doing a flying lap, we might actually get a bit of a feel. Sundin's got clear air, so she should have a faster time. Now she's coming to against another car though. Valdez had to overtake a car. She's now stuck behind this. These won't be true times. These won't be true times. But there'll be a rough guide. Okay. Okie dokie. That's not bad. Look at that. 3rd and 5th. Only 2 tenths off first, but they seem to be using medium tyres, which is a bit worrying because that's 2 steps lower than super softs. I mean, the track grip is medium, so it's kind of set up really for the harder tyre nicely. Track temperature, it's quite cold, so it'll be quite hard to heat the harder tyre up. So the fact that they're that fast on medium tyres is quite frightening. Antonov and Mikhailovich, I bet they're both driving for that team that just recently got relegated from the Asia Pacific Cup, which means that we're going to... Although they did set their time on super softs. Ah, that gives us a bit of hope then. So that's not too bad. Sundin was expected to be quicker than Valdez because she wasn't in traffic for her second little flying lap thing. But yeah, Ruiz Motorsport, both of them for Ruiz Motorsport, who I think just came down last season. Zempelli have been in for a couple of seasons now, but they're still expected to go quite quickly. Right, it's going to be nail-biting stuff. So that's practice, never to be seen again. Fear not, people that have seen this game before and will have cringing at the practice session there, thinking just get on with the bloody qualifying. Now we're going to get on with the qualifying. Right, I've done it again. I have completely and utterly done it again. Oh dear. The first time I recorded the session, it was in 2D mode, had to start again. The first time I recorded the session, I forgot to pick my sponsor. I've done it again. I've picked a 10th or above sponsor. That means if we get 10th or above, we get £200,000 bonus. I'm expecting to finish in the top 6, and I'm sure we had a better sponsor than this. Okay. Remember for next time. Breathe. Right, in terms of this screen here, you can give your cars a little bit of a boost from the knowledge that you've gained or from your mechanics components. We've purposely gained super soft tyre knowledge, so we will use that because it will serve a dual purpose, both in qualifying and in the race. It will give us extra performance boost when on those tyres. We're happy with the setup of both cars. Super soft tyres. You're only going to really get one flying lap in this short qualifying session, so it's going to be one and done. And disclaimer, I have never done a qualifying session ever in this game. I have never done a qualifying session in this game. Take note. Right, so I'm going to be using my knowledge of racing to try and best judge this. Now, we don't want to go out too early because the track grip is low. We want a few cars to do their laps, put some rubber down, and we want to go out a little bit later, but then still find a gap so that we're not in traffic. That is the key. So we'll let the time progress slightly, let a few cars go out. Another thing, I think the thing that was so, I've read that qualifying was a pain in the backside because there's a bit of a mini game when you go out and do your sort of warm-up lap, your out lap. But you have to warm the tyres and warm the brakes, and it's a bit of a farce, a bit of a faff. But in a patch they eliminated that. You can do it automatically, let the AI do that side of things for you. You'd probably be better off doing it yourself. But I won't be better off doing it myself because I've never done it before, so I'm going to use the automatic feature. Right, we now have to feed them into a gap. We'll go out with Valdez first, and there's a nice little gap from between here and here. So if you send him out now, he should get out just in time to do his out lap and his flying lap. There's another gap just about there, so we'll send Sundin out into that. I think we might have sent him out just on time. Just in time. Yeah, here he goes. He's got a bit of space. There is a car ahead of him. Right, so now we do. So this is it here. This mini game, I've got no clue what it does. So I'm just gonna let it do it automatically. So the computer AI will do this warming up mini game for you. So it's nicely in a gap, right? Ooh, too busy talking. There's another gap there for Sundin to go out, so she's going to go out in that gap there, get some clear air. Off she tootles. And she will go out. Right, so we've got two drivers going out, doing their flying laps. The track grip is going up slowly but surely. Everyone's on the track. It is a one and done qualifying. So first of all, we shall see. Oh, Valdez has overheated his tyres. Is he on his hot lap? No, he's still on his out lap. There's still a chance for him to cool them. Still a chance for him to cool them tyres. Cool them down now. Coming around the bend. Cool them down. Valdez, cool them. Slightly overheated on the brakes. The tyres were good. He's on his flying lap. Here we go. Here goes Valdez. Valdez is on his flying lap, and it looks as if Sundin is just being passed by people on a hot lap, and now they're going to be on the in lap, and she's now on her hot lap, which is bad. They're going to be in the way. Sundin's lap has been ruined. Oh no, 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 no. Sundin's lap has been ruined by people on hot laps. I think, yeah, she's half a tenth down already. I'm trying to pass the two cars, not just one. She's been screwed. Valdez qualifies in 12. Wow, that is so bad. Wow, that is horrendous. Sundin qualifies in 7th. That was with cars in the way as well. So what happened to Valdez? Why is he so slow? As I say, this is my very first qualifying session, so if anybody's got any tips, feel free to put them down, because I expected to be finishing in qualifying in the top 6 with both cars here. And this is a massive, massive disappointment. Right, Valdez might be able to squeeze another quick lap in if we go out straight away. Right, oh, we've got cars going out. Right, Valdez has got a chance to do one more lap. They can probably just about last. Go again. Oh, we've got cars in the way again. Sundin will not get another lap. Time is she won't get round again quick enough. They have to cross the line before the timer goes down. They have to cross the line for their hot lap before this crosses to 0. She's never going to get round again. So Sundin has qualified so far in 7th. Valdez. Letting cars. If you were on the track now, you'd actually back off and just let them speed off, wouldn't you? You just really just get a gap, but you can't tell them. You just can't tell them. He's got perfect brake temps, good tyre temps, but he's got cars ahead of him. Right, just crossing the line, just on his flying lap. Here we go. It's Valdez looking to get higher than 13th, because that is shocking. Now, who's ahead of him? Who is this car ahead of him? How fast are they? Are they slower than us? Because if they are, they're slowing us down. Yep, they're much slower than us. He's already a second down. Oh, this sucks. Right, I'm going to speed this up. There's no, he's not going to get any. He's not going to improve his time. 2 seconds slower. Wow. Wow, that was so bad. That was so bad. It's not even funny. I really had visions of rocking into qualifying and qualifying in the top 6 and everything being bright and rosy. A bit more. Maybe I should have practiced a few qualifying sessions before starting this this third season, because there's obviously a knack to it that I have really not got. So Sundin somehow scraping an 8th place despite being stuck in a little bit of traffic. Valdez really could not switch the car on at all during his qualifying, down in 13th. That is very, very disappointing for the current champion. But fear not, folks. Fear not. This is a race where cars break down. So we're just going to play the long game here. Going to play the long game. Right, this is what we're waiting for. The super soft and race trim. We're not interested in the tyre changing. So we're getting maximum super soft tyre performance. We've got maximum performance increase for the race. Now this is where we focus on the strategy. Now it's the temperatures are not too bad. The it looks like it's going to be a dry race for the entirety, but we'll keep an eye on that. The track grip is going to go up quite quickly. So I'm thinking we do a super soft to start with, and maybe a soft stint in the middle, and a super soft stint at the end with both drivers. So we'll focus on Sundin, who's in 8th position. She's further up the grid, but she's going to be stuck in a little bit of traffic here. So I'm wondering if we should short stint the first stop and then come in early to get some clear track, and then lengthen the third and fourth stints, the second and third stint, sorry. I think that might be the order of the day here for both cars. So right, we're going to start on the super sauce for both drivers. I think we're going to short stint them. So we'll bring Sundin in on lap 5. We can max up 8 laps of fuel, which is plenty to get around in 18 laps. So we'll do a 4 lap stint with Sundin, a bit of a sprint for the first stint. No, what am I doing? What am I doing here? And then for Valdez, we're going to go even more risky, and we're going to say, again, we're going to go out on the super softs, but we're actually going to do a shorter stint with him. We're going to do a 3-lap stint. And that will give us 15 laps left, and he can do 2 8-lap stints, or an 8 and a 7. So he comes in really early, gets to the back of the grid, but gets clear air. The reason why I'm doing a short session length rather than medium is because I don't like to fast forward the races, and therefore to keep the recording times down with qualifying, everything else thrown in, this is the best bet, rather than playing on a more laps and then just breezing through the race on 3 speed, which is far too fast for my eyeballs. Right, so there we go. So 2 short stints for both drivers, coming in early, getting the clear air, starting on push, turning the engine up to max for the first lap, and then turning the wick down to preserve the car, as cars around us will hopefully blow up. Right, so let's have a look at the top 10 then. So it is a Ruiz Motorsport lockout with Mikhailovic and Antonov. These are going to be the cars to beat this season, and we're not off to a good start if we want to beat them. Zempelli, Mustafa Al-Sadat in 3rd, and Sabado in 4th. Firebird, another strong team. Vexala, Himsov, Mello in Silver Racing. So we're going to get a fair mix of cars in the midfield here. Vexala again with Massilia, and here's Sundin, the lead Phoenix Knights car at 8th position. And then we go down to another Firebird, Zempelli down here. And we're just going down now to the back markers. We'll gloss over that, shall we? Most of the lead drivers are on super softs. And we are off and racing. The lights are out, and Sundin has pretty much stalled on the line. Goodness gracious, in fact so much so that she's been passed by a teammate. Valdez off to a flyer. He's up into 9th and pushing onwards. Sundin is going backwards here. She's in 14th place. Valdez was right all along. Give me any car, he says, and I'll beat her. Give me any car, I'll be reigning champion. I'll retain my championship. But here she comes now. She's coming back. So we're now stuck in traffic. The 2 leaders are going to have clear air. They're going to be loving life, speeding off into the distance, whilst we battle in the midfield. Right, we're going to turn down the engine to high. A couple a lap maximum on high, and then we're going to turn it right down to normal. This is a race where we have to preserve the condition of our engine. It's at 56%. As we look at Valdez now sweeping past Himsov, he's up into 7th place. Got to say, he's definitely started this race better than Sundin has, and he's looking to keep moving through the field. Championship is on the line here. He's got a point to prove. He needs to perform like a champion. Right, we're going to now turn the wick down completely and preserve those engines, preserve those gearboxes, because cars around us will start to clap out. This is a race of attrition rather than a sprint. It's a tortoise and a hare situation here. Right, Valdez is going to be coming in this lap. A very, very early stint. We're going to go onto the soft tyre. It's a little bit early because the track grip isn't going up very fast, but it will come to him. We're going to max out the fuel, and we are going to leave the parts for now. And a balanced pit stop. You can pick how risky your pit stop is. You can go for a fast one, but there's more risk of you making an error. So I always go balanced. It's just not worth the risk. So Valdez in 7th place. He's coming in very, very early. At the start of lap 3 he's coming in, with Sundin not too far behind him. But we're trying to maximise time in clear air. Being stuck in this pack is not going to help us in these early stages. We're going to mix it up. Alternative strategy due to our bad qualifying. Right, Valdez is coming in. He's in the pits. Just nice and steady. Here we go. So due to our small pit crew, due to the rules of the series that we're in, you have to do the fueling first and then change the tyres. You can actually change that to have a bigger pit crew, and then you can start doing them together to save time. Right, same with Sundin. She's coming in. She's going to do quite a long stint and a balanced pit stop. Did I change her tyres? I think I did. Yes, going on to the softs with a middle stint. Valdez is happy with the pit stop. Now he's going to be on normal. Just push the tyres for now because temperatures... Okay, temperatures are not bad actually. 20 degrees, track grip is going up, so we don't have to push for too long to keep the heat in them. Valdez just cruising around in 20 on his own. We'll get back to him later. He's going to have a nice little bit of clear track now and just do his thing. And Sundin is now coming in the pits. She's having her fuel put in. She's having her tyres changed. Decent stop. I'm going to just turn down now the pushing from Valdez. And he gets ahead of Sundin. Only just. But it's two Phoenix Knights race cars travelling in formation here. It's going to be dry. No need to worry about rain spoiling the strategy here. So this is where hopefully we shall make up a little bit of time on some of our rivals. Whilst they're tripping over each other, we got a bit of clear air. And I think we'll put her down into neutral. Right, now it's all about the condition of the car. 47% for engine, 51 gearbox, 52. So they'll get to the stage, once they've had their pit stops, which some of them have now, and we're just passing a couple of cars in the pits. These cars are now running on very low tyre wear, very low tyre life. So they're going to be coming in probably this lap. So we'll see where we stand, and then we're going to turn the engine down to low. We're going to literally crawl around. So we're already catching Thomas, Rogers, who are yet to pit. So these guys need to come into the pits really this lap. Get out of our way. Phoenix Knight Racing Team coming through. Right, got a whole host of people in the pits now, and these guys are not pitting yet, which is bad news for us. We've got to get past these quickly as possible. Okay, where have we fed out? I don't think we fed out as high up as we were hoping. I really don't think we fed out as high up as we were hoping. And now we're stuck behind Thomas and what looks to be a Predator racing car, which is the worst car on the grid to be stuck behind. Come on, get past. I'm going to give them extra engine mode and push to get past this car. This is ruining our strategy. As 11th place, Mello is looking to pass us. Oh, now they're coming in the pits. Glorious. Right, now we're going to turn the engines down. This is just the cruising part of the race. This long middle stint, just cruising and preserving the life of our parts. And you can see the strategy has worked because we are up into 3rd and 4th position. Masilella, does they have... No, they must have pitted already. Heemsoff. Look at that. Mikhailovic. And Antonov. Both of the Ruiz Motorsport cars have had a bit of a nightmare. They're right back of the pack. From qualifying 1st and 2nd, they've just gone backwards. How's that happened? Maybe they fixed parts already and had really long pit stops. That's what I'm guessing. We may be fixing parts in our 2nd stop, so they may catch us back up again. 10 laps to go. Still plenty of fuel in the car. This is the frustratingly slow middle stint now. We're just eking out our condition. It's the engine and the gearbox I'm most bothered about. We may have to fix 1 or 2 parts, possibly the suspension and the brakes in the next stops, but as long as we don't have to repair the engine and the gearbox, we should be okay. Sundin holding off Mello for 4th place, losing a bit of ground on Heemsoth. That's alright. Let's have a look at these two. These guys are going to be flying around the track now. Mikhailovic in the Ruiz Motorsport trying to pass here. Trying to pass Vananen. Antonov is making his way through the field on the soft tyre. He's also trying to pass a Predator racing car, who now has a problem and is really backing him up. This is good news for us because these are going to be the championship rivals and they are getting no points at the moment. Don't forget, only the top 6 get points here. As Sundin comes round for another lap. Right, Valdez, this is his last lap. He's going to come into the pits on the next lap. Here we go. Right, tyres are just about lasted. Now, this is what I haven't really factored in very much. Because we're doing 2 longer stints, it kind of changes our strategy in terms of tyre life. We've got 8 laps to go and these softs only last 7 to 9 laps. That means if we use them, we're going to be running around on rims at the end of the race. Should we risk it? I don't know what, with Valdez we're going to risk it. He's a daredevil, he's a champion, it's his call, he wants the faster tyre. He's going to risk it. We're going to fix the brakes. Do we fix the suspension? 32%. There's no more stops after this. Do we fix them all in one go now and have done with it, or do we risk it? We're going to be conserving the tyre. That's going to put less pressure on the suspension. But 32 is just really low. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. Other cars are going to be fixing their parts as well, so it's not as if we're the only people doing this. It's not worth chancing getting no points by crashing out. We're going to go for it. Right. So Valdez's tyres, I don't seriously think they're going to last 7 laps. His softs are already falling away. Whether he's locked up and we haven't seen, I don't know, but he's going to be suffering now with tyres in the red zone here. Drop off dramatically in terms of performance. Yeah, we're going to have to fix both parts for Sundin as well. Right. She's done a lap extra, so she only actually has to do 7 laps, so she can actually go on the softer tyre, put the requisite amount of fuel in. Her gearbox hasn't held up very well at all. Oh man, we're going to have to fix all 3 here. I was hoping not to have to fix the gearbox, but we cannot go around for another 7 laps. 6 laps, 7 laps with a 25%, it's just not going to happen. She's going to have to fix 3 parts. That is not what we wanted to see. Right, Valdez. Stuck in the pit. It's a very long, long pit stop. He just sat there waiting. Waiting. Come on, get me out! Right, 14th place. We still can't push too much because of the gearbox and the engine. So we still can't go mad. So we're still going to go low and normal. And don't forget, we might even have to conserve these tyres. And he's now stuck again behind Predator Racing, which is not what we want. Right, Sundin. No more. Oh, this is her final stop. She's coming in the pits. She has to fix the gearbox. Oh, and there's been a mistake with the refueling as well. She's going to add extra time to the stop that we really do not need. This is so painfully slow. Just everybody's in the same boat. Don't panic. Everybody is in the same boat. Valdez drives past there was a mistake, but it only cost us less than a tenth of a second, thankfully. Just a very slight slip. And Sundin now well behind the current champion Valdez, who's up into 5th position. Cars ahead of him still have to stop. Maybe, just maybe, for part fixes as well. Cars around us have engine signs, warning signs that their cars are going to fall to bits. This is good stuff. This is good stuff for us. He's got black smoke coming out of his car. Rogers, he's well and truly screwed. Right, Valdez up into 4th place. He's on the fastest tyre to be on, possibly. So this is as much as we can do with him. He's on the fastest tyre. Parts have been fixed. He's now pushing his way up the field. Gomez and Heemsoff look like they are ready to go to the end of the race. They've done their stops. What the hell, Gomez? Our former driver. Wouldn't it be a smack in the face if our former driver ends up beating us in the first race of his new season? That's the right middle finger, isn't it? Up yours, Felix Knights. You sack me, I get a better car. Or do you? His car looks as if it's got some kind of problem. What about first place? First place car has some kind of problem. This is looking good. They're going to have to either pit for repairs or retire. Oh, I'm rubbing my hands together here, folks. Is this going to be a 1-2? As Valdez cruises around. We're just telling him, preserve the tyres, preserve the engine. Just feeding him the information that the cars ahead are struggling with mechanical issues. He's getting warning lights on his car. It's fine. We're on the pit wall, looking at the computers. It's fine. And Heemsoff has retired with his mechanical issue. We are up into 2nd and 3rd position here. Gomez clinging on to life with a thread, but we are catching him. We are catching him, and if he lasts the entirety of this race with his damaged vehicle, we're probably going to pass. Come on, Valdez. Come on, Valdez. Sundin, 6 seconds behind Valdez, not making. Well, she's making a little slight indentation into his. In fact, she's catching him quite quickly, you know. Another retiree. Thomas is gone. Gomez is clinging on. He still hasn't retired. He still hasn't pitted for parts. If Gomez wins this race, our former driver, I am going to be furious. Absolutely furious. Sundin is gaining on Gomez. Sorry, gaining on Valdez here quite quickly. There's no team orders here. Her parts are in better shape, so she can now start to push. I'm going to have her push. Valdez's parts he can't afford to push. So he's going to go medium. Look at her, she's flying. She's flying, she wants his first win. And yes, Gomez has broken down whilst I've been messing around with the strategies. Gomez has broken down, which means the Phoenix Knights Racing team have a 1-2 on their hands. But who is going to finish first and who's going to finish second? Sundin is absolutely on a flyer. We're going to give her overtake mode. We're going to give her all the beans here. We're going to give Gomez high. We've got to give him a chance to defend himself. But we don't want him to be breaking down. Look at her, she's on the charge. She's closed down like 5 seconds in the past 3 laps. If it wasn't for that gearbox change, she'd have won this race. But you know what Valdez is like, Mr. Prima Donna here. He'll be saying, well, I preserved my gearbox with my super smooth driving style. Not about how fast you go sometimes, Sundin. And that's it. We have it. The first race of the season, and we get a 1-2. We could not have asked for a better race than that. We could not have asked for a better race. The disappointment of qualifying has been made up by some excellent driving from the drivers, and of course a bit of tactical nous from old Potter, bringing them in early for the first stint to get some clear air, telling him to maintain a low engine mode to preserve their parts. Whilst cars were dropping around them like flies, they just cruised around to a 1-2. Absolutely glorious stuff. Now do not kid yourself, folks. When the other cars get their reliability issues sorted, as will we, we're gonna be in a real race, because cars won't be dropping around us like flies, and we're gonna have to qualify a lot better than we did. We got let off the hook there. If there's any time to screw your qualifying up, it's in the first couple of races. Right, the reigning champion, Valdez. First position. And he's this young, she's not young, she's like 30, I think she's 30 suddenly, she's not young. But this new driver, this future potential champion has come in, and he's put her in a place. He's put her in a place in the first race. Can't help but think he's got a wry smile on his face, and Sundin cursing as she was so quick on her final stint, pressing him all the way. But he was just managing the gap. He was just managing that gap. He had it all under control. Right, no rules broken. Drink it in. This could be the only 1-2 of the season. Drink it in. We get the maximum 16 constructors' points. Oh, it's absolutely marvellous. 2 points for the fastest lap, which go to Andre Sabato. But yeah. Oh, this just makes for glorious reading. It is the Phoenix Knights Racing Team's first ever 1-2. Long may it continue. Third place was Sadat in the Zempelli Racing and Engineering Team. Let's have a look at our main rivals here. Mikhailovic clawed his way back up to 6th position, and Antonov 9th, no points there. So we got off to a real good start. Our potential main rivals for this championship, Ruiz Motorsport, who we are keeping a close eye on, have picked up 1 point in this first race. Not off to a good start. Brian Potter wheeling himself up to the old podium, drinking in the champagne. It's a very good start to the season. There we go, 16 points. Oh, yes! Oh, yes, yes, yes! Valdez blitzes the opposition, says the news. Oh, well. Now, normally, the news that you get in your mailbox, the interviews that you have to do, are a load of rubbish. They always pick on the negatives. But even the interviews this time must be full of praise for a 1-2. The podium for Sundin gives her extra morale. Lovely, lovely, lovely. The chairman loving life, as he would be after a 1-2, and we lose £1 million because we picked, or rather didn't pick, a sponsor. I said we were going to get top 6 in that race due to the fact that cars were going to crash around us. Missed out on a real good sponsor opportunity there. Curses. Right. Here we go. I'm going to save it. We're just going to quickly check the mail, and then we're going to end the session. It's been a long one. Right. So Mikhailovic wins qualifying. Mikhailovic and Antonov top of the practice timesheets, but when it came to the race, they just didn't have it in the bag, did they? Interview with Motorsportif. A podium for your team is a great result. Valdez raced supremely. How do I feel? We could take all the blame, all the credits. Yeah, we'll give Sergio his dues. He drove well. God, if we said anything else, he'd have a heart attack. This bloody fella that he is. He'd have a damn heart attack. Thanks, Brian. Right. Sundin happy with her podium. Putting on a brave face, but we know deep down she felt that she should have won that. She's probably questioning the team. Did we have to fix the gearbox there? Valdez's gearbox wasn't fixed. Why was mine? Is it a conspiracy theory? Bit early to say. Right, there we go. So a great start to affairs. Absolutely kicking off with some positive results, and we're going to have to hopefully carry that form into the next race, which is the German Grand Prix in Munich, where we'll pick the session up. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the first session, and certainly if you are new to the game, hopefully I've showcased that it is fun. It is definitely fun, yeah. Until next time, but hopefully we might just, get another podium perhaps. See you soon.